So, roll call right here, and we're going to talk about ammunition. Ammunition is the talk of the town nowadays, whether it's, social media, YouTubers, or even the talk around your town. Ammunition. It's hard to find. When you find it, it's going to be very expensive, or you have a shit ton of it, or you don't have any of it at all. So, I've been watching a lot of chats lately, and some people are talking and boasting about how much ammunition they have. And I thought to myself, years and years and years, I've seen people talk about, I got so much ammunition, I'm going to be great, I'm going to be fine, I'm going to be dandy. But what if they told you you had to leave? What if they told you you couldn't stay in your area? What would you do? You'd only have so much of an allotment of time until you had to leave the area because the shit has hit the fan. So I developed that kind of scenario in my head and said to myself, well, what would I do if they said, you have 15 minutes to evacuate? You have 20 minutes to evacuate. What would I do? 20 minutes isn't a long period of time. I'm going to tell you that right now. I mean, you could sit there and not do anything for 20 minutes and time it out, but go hang out and go do something fun and then time yourself for 20 minutes. It doesn't last that long. So imagine that your heart is beating this fast. What 20 minutes would feel like? It'd feel like 3 minutes. So I developed this thing and I call it a grab and go. If I only have a short window to get out of the area, I'm grabbing this and I'm going. And there's a couple features to it and a couple dynamics that I've kind of developed in there. And if you've done this, put it down in the comments. And let's spur a little bit of a conversation. Because I see a lot of people talking about how much ammunition they have. But nobody talks about what if you're allotted only a certain amount of time. Because I look at it this way. If they tell me I have 20 minutes, unless they tell me, let's put it this way, unless they tell me I have like 5-6 hours, I got 24 hours or something like that, probably going to get everything I got out of there. But it doesn't always happen like that. I mean, look at tornadoes. Look at natural disasters like that. Tornadoes, they say the time you hear the siren, you only have about 3 minutes until that thing shows up and starts tearing a hole in your community. So put that in perspective. What if it's like that, but it's a shit hits the fan scenario where the sirens go off, and from that siren, you only got 4 minutes, 5 minutes to grab your stuff and go. And that's what I kind of developed here. I used to use 50 cal ammo cans until I came across this one at work. I believe this one's a 40 millimeter, and I can store a lot more ammunition in this thing for my grab and go. And it's always cool because I stick a 50 cal can on here just in case I gotta grab it and go, because I might not have that time allotted to me to empty out my safes, to empty out where I keep my ammunition. So to break this down for you, some people will agree, some people will disagree. That's why it's good to stir conversation and maybe help us out along the way. So in this box, I have common calibers. Common calibers that military uses, the police departments use, things like that. Common calibers. You'll probably run into these more than you will, let's say, 308, 7.62 by 39, things like that, Tokarev rounds or 7 millimeters, all that other stuff, man. This is common stuff. Not only that, these are rounds my family members can handle. They can handle these rounds. It's not going to be painful for them to shoot. It's not going to be discomforting. They're going to be able to use these calibers and, be defensive to a certain point, So that's what I have in this can. Not only that, I do have shotgun rounds in here. I even have some old 9x18, that old Makarov round, because I think if we did fall into that situation, I'd grab that gun. And the reason why I would grab that gun is if the boys or the girls are using 9mm and they're getting low, and one of my carry guns in that shit hits this fan scenario is a 9mm, I can give them that ammo to keep them in the fight, switch over, use 9x18. I mean, a lot of people talk about stopping power and this and that, but I don't see them going out and getting shot in the chest with these rounds and saying, this round doesn't work or that round. I don't want to be shot by anything, not even 22. So I look at it this way. This will keep them in the fight, and I can keep myself in the fight for that time being until we can get out of there. Because I'm not expending a whole lot of time and ammunition in fights that I can't fight, especially pistol. If I'm going to my pistol in a fight, that means I'm either losing that fight or that's the last stand and I'm already going to die. That's it. So if you're going to your pistol at that point, you're pretty much done in. So another thing that I did, and I did it on purpose, and a lot of people will kind of, push back, but I look at it this way. All my ARs are chambered in 5.56 and 2.23, and that's for a specific reason. That's because everybody has a rifle. And guess what? Everybody can interchange mags together. Everybody's going to use the same ammunition. It is very rare on a battlefield where everybody's chambered in a different caliber. There's a reason for that. That's because if your buddy gets low, you can change your mag. I'm not going to have so-and-so out there shooting 300 blackout or 7.62 by 39 when everybody else is using 2.23 or 5.56. It doesn't make sense. Unless you have a ton of 7.62 by 39 and rifles chambered in it, like I did my ARs, makes sense. Everybody can interchange ammunition. That's why I don't like having everybody shoot, different calibers. I like everybody to kind of sit in that same premise of being able to, shoot different calibers, but their main caliber is everything that everybody else shoots because it's common. It's very rare, unless you're across the pond, to see police officers and military shoot 7.62 by 39. That's very rare. Even the time in the military, nobody was using 7.62 by 39 unless you were an operator or something on that level. Everybody was using 2.23, 5.56 NATO, things like that. That's what everybody was using because the mags were interchangeable with each other. So that's the reason why I chambered my guns in that. It's cool to have those guns, but I think if you're going to have people with different calibers, you're going to be selling yourself short, especially in oddball calibers, because the AR-15 is America's gun. That's what everybody's building. That's what everybody's shooting is 5.56 and 2.23. And if you have that chance where you're getting low on ammunition and you find some kind of abandoned car or military vehicle and there's ammunition in it, you have a great chance of finding 9mm or 5.56. And those guns that you have, miraculously shoot that same caliber. So that's a little bit of the dynamic that's in the stuff that we are going to use to defend ourselves if it comes to fruition. So I wouldn't kind of put that kind of perspective. I even got some shotgun rounds in there because I'll just throw the shotgun in the car too. I got some 22. I'm gonna probably grab a couple of guns, and those guns are gonna be like, if I gotta go hunt small game, I'm gonna use my 22. Even shooting deer, I'm gonna start using the shotgun. I'm gonna have different calibers, but they're gonna be for a whole different purpose. The defensive mechanism we're gonna use are common calibers here. That's what we're gonna use because it's available. It's going to be available. I mean, nobody's going to shoot their whole supply of ammunition. That's just the way it works. So if you come across it, you're probably not going to come across, AK rounds and things like that, 300 blackout all that often, but you're going to come across all these rounds. Probably not that Makarov that's down there in the bottom, but you get my point. So let's just stir conversation down there in the comments about what you would do and how you would take this kind of scenario. Because I like this kind of grab and go opportunity. Not only that is I can tote this. I know the bigger boy can tote this. And on top of it, I can have other people grab different supplies, bottled water, medical supplies, little bit of food here and there, that's non-perishable, things like that. I can have other people do that while I'm loading this stuff, and give a little task to each person to hopefully fulfill that allotted time we get. Now again, if they're giving you 20, 48 hours to get out of here, probably probably going to get all my stuff out of there, and you probably will too. But just that scenario of, what if they give you 25 minutes to get out? You know, are you going to have that time and effort when you have cans stacked from the floor to the ceiling? Are you going to have that much time to do it and then grab water, food, medical, all that other stuff? Are you going to have that little bit of a time to do that? Are you going to make that portion of time? That's why I say, you know, it's great to have tons of ammunition, but how are you going to distribute that ammunition? How are you going to use it in a feasible way? Because I look at it this way: even if you do get your 150 cans, 50 round ammo cans in your car, you're going to tote that around in the field? Are you going to carry that with you all the time? It's going to be so, cumbersome. And, just take 2 empty 50 cal cans, put a bunch of rocks in them to the top, and carry them around, and tell me how tired you get after that. And don't forget to put your gear on as well. So put that in perspective. Do you want to carry that much at that point? I mean, that's the bad thing about it, because you spend all the time in preparation to get this ammunition, and then probably when the dust flies down, you come back to your spot, and your spot's probably raided, and you've lost that time and effort. But yet again, I think this is a great idea. It might get you to that point where the dust settles. You can come back and, pick up the pieces of your life. So this is something I call a grab and go. Maybe you want to try it, maybe you don't want to try it. But let's just stir a little bit of a conversation about ammo, prepping, and what you would do and how you would do it with your ammunition. If you don't want to get too specific, I totally understand that, to keep your plans under wraps. But this is just a little bit of a conversation starter on what some of the little angles that you would take. And this is one of my angles. I call it a grab and go. If I am, short on time, and the powers to be, whoever they may tell me, I only have a limited amount of time, and I'm talking a short time frame, a short window, this is something I'm going to do. I'm going to grab this and go. Grab the rest of the stuff that I need to help with this box, and bug out. Grab my family and go. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time rooting through my safes or opening up boxes, if hopefully you're marking them. But if you aren't, mark your boxes, because that's going to save you a lot of time to grab stuff and go. So there's all kinds of little scenarios. I wanted to throw that out there for fun. Leave it down in the comments. Create conversation, some ideas. Maybe you have a way better idea, and other people can adopt that if it's really great, and we can help each other out in case the shit hits the fan. And so with all that being said, I'd like to thank my old and my new subscribers, and just the people that zip through. I greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe all my content. Hit the bell for more notifications. Don't forget to do that with everybody you watch. It helps with that YouTube algorithm, especially with gun content, because they frown upon that stuff and they try and suppress it. And like always, guys, we will catch you on the next one.